In this video, we're going to be talking about how you can still buy properties below 700,000, force value through renovations, and buy sites with granny flat potential, all for under that $700,000 price point. My name's Luke, and I talk all things real estate, renovating, and financial freedom, and this is a recent client deal review here in Southeast Queensland. I'm going to be sharing with you the address of this exact property at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around to the end. And I don't think many people are sharing the live deals that they're doing out there in the market. So make sure you drop a like on this video as well. And let's dive in and take a look at this recent client purchase. So what I'd like to do is walk you through the original photos of this property and explain to you the ideas that we had and how we saw this deal come together in terms of the renovations and then the future cash flow potential of this block and location. So let's take a look. And this property needed work at the get-go. The agent and our team at Purpose Property had a great working relationship, and we were able to secure this property at a price pre it going to auction. So the property, given its condition and location, it was going to be sold at an auction, but we were able to secure this under contract before it was sold to the open market. You can see here that there's a lot of trees around. So there's trees in front, trees behind and to the side. And you see this arbor here that's got a lot of wood rot. And so part of our recommendations were to take these structures down and to remove a lot of the trees. As we move through the home, you can see it's tiled floors, very basic. There's a fireplace there. It's quite a large living space. Again, you've got this big built-in thing here, which is a bit of an eyesore in terms of the space and the area. And the kitchen is a bit rough around the edges. And so we recommended to our client to do the floors, to upgrade the kitchen and to spend a good amount of money on the property, but it would add significant value based on the purchase price. You can see here we've got wallpaper in the bedrooms. There's a little aircon, which is in newer condition, and some very odd light fixtures off to the side here. So changing over the power points and switches and giving this room a lick of paint and updating the flooring could add good value. A smaller room here with a sliding door. Again, it needs blinds and things like that. And an older style bathroom. The bathtub's in good condition. The shower was okay. Again, you could do a cheaper renovation and just change the vanity. There was a lot of options there in terms of this bathroom. As we move through, you can see the back patio. Tons of trees, debris on the roof, wood rot on these beams as well from water damage over time. And so as an investment, you want to make this as low maintenance as possible moving forward. And myself and the client, Sean, had really good chats around what he wanted out of this deal and how we could help him build and scale the property portfolio. So buying an asset like this, which is on a bigger block, close to 800 square meters, you can see here, this is actually a corner block. So there's dual street access to this property. And by doing the renovations, we can add and create equity to begin with, increase the rental return, get a higher quality tenant, and then down the track, potentially add that secondary dwelling to boost the income in terms of the end game of the property portfolio. As you can see here, the yard's probably a lot bigger than you might have first thought. There is a pad here of concrete, but this could all be cleared. The trees could be pushed back towards the fence line. And you could see you can fit a nice rectangular shaped granny flat in this space here. So really good land size up towards that 800 square meter mark. Again, another shot of the property, overgrown, very overgrown. There's a little structure here which would be knocked down, an old Hills hoist. And this is where the property is located. So it's located at 5 Cunningham Drive in Boronia Heights, which is on the southwestern side of Brisbane CBD in Logan City Council. And the property was purchased for $652,000. Now you'll see that it settled in October 2024. So relative to today's prices, you've got to factor that growth in. The reason I haven't talked about this sooner is our client has been busy working with our project manager to complete the renovations on this home. And so I thought it'd be great to take a look at what the property looks like now, post the renovation work, because yes, you're going to be out without rent for 3, 4, 5 months, depending on how long those renovations take. But can you force some value in the property and get a higher quality tenant and get more rental income as well? So this is what the property looks like right now. You can see 5 Cunningham Drive in Boronia Heights, 3-bed, 1-bath, 1-car. How much cleaner does the front, it looks like a new home without the arbor and all of this wood chipped and much cleaner driveway. Everything's gurneyed. It looks fantastic. And so 3 bed, 1 bath, 1 car, $550 per week. You can see the roof is now all clean because the trees have been cut right back all around the home. The glass looks clean, the brick looks nice. It just presents in a much better fashion. So if a valuer comes back out in the next 6 or 12 months, it's going to look a lot better cosmetically, and it's going to compare to higher priced properties in the area of Boronia Heights from a bank valuation point of view. As we move through these photos, let's take a look at the rear yard. So you can see some of the trees have been left, but I would probably recommend cutting down a few of these extra palms which are really close to the house. And so they've done a really good job. The arborist has been busy. There's probably a week's worth of work in cutting down the amount of trees and shrubbery that was around the property. But getting rid of the arbors, the old arbors that weren't servicing the house well, and letting a lot more light into the home, you can see that it's made a big difference. You can also see here that space for the granny flat. So you can see you'd easily be able to fence off along this back patio here and give a separate driveway or just a parking space out here on this road because of the corner block access. And as we move through, you can see beautiful tiled floors, white walls. The kitchen's been upgraded, so nice basic cabinetry, a new oven, basic downlights, really fitting the bill in terms of upgrading the home, but not over capitalizing. The client hasn't gone too exy, they're going to give themselves longevity, but they've not overspent on either the lighting or the kitchen or the flooring, which I think is very important when it comes to renovations. As we move through, you can see they got rid of the big cabinets that were in here and it looks so much bigger and cleaner. Great room for a dining table, a nice big open living area, and that fireplace really pops now. With everything else being clean and painted, that space really works. As you come through, you can see how modern that kitchen is. It's basic, but it suits the area and it suits the profile. And if someone wants to put in their big fridge and maybe a little table in here, or maybe a high table from IKEA, it still gives the tenants options, but from the landlord's point of view and the property owner's point of view, it's great in terms of being rental grade. So newer appliances, newer kitchen, but nothing too fancy as well. You get another great shot from the curbside, seeing the house a lot more now. They've culled so many trees around the property. And then you get to see the bedrooms. They've put in some IKEA robes in here, still got that aircon, some basic blinds, tiled floors throughout. Really just bringing that home into the 21st century and upgrading it from where it was. As you could see before with the vinyl and as you could see before with the wallpaper and things like that, it wasn't really going to appeal, but this space is nice and clean, ready for tenants to move into. And again with the bathroom, the client followed the recommendations. This is fine. It's blue tiles on and around the tub. It's a new shower screen off here to the right, and a new vanity and a new rail. Now, instead of gutting this bathroom, which could have cost $30,000 to do a new bathroom, they'd be able to achieve this look or effect for say $5,000 to $10,000. Even putting in patch tiles, which aren't blue and don't necessarily match, but give it a bit of pop and color because it fits the space, is money well spent. Giving people a nice, clean space to rent and live in, and upgrading vanities and doing what you need to, but not over-capitalizing, is very important when it comes to investing in property. Finally, the bedrooms, just basic, new floor tiles, painted walls, and same with the other bedroom as well. Upgraded those power points, made everything look very neat and tidy, and that's the finishing shot. So what a deal. The client was able to purchase this property at 5 Cunningham Drive in Boronia Heights pre-auction for $652,000 in the last quarter of 2024. Now, renovation costs depend on the deal, but if you're doing kitchen, flooring, paint, all that arborist work, you're looking at around, say, $50,000. So all in around that low 700 mark. Now, in terms of the market and where properties are selling at this point in time and based on the renovations, the property would be worth in the mid to high 700s. That's the exciting thing when it comes to doing cosmetic renovations. It might take 3, 4, 5 months at most. Hopefully you're not doing 5 months cosmetic renovations. But if you can keep those renos to a few months and you can do them from a relatively affordable budget and for some value, you're going to create some instant equity. You're going to be able to buy blocks that really suit you from that long-term potential. And you're going to be able to force that value and go again onto that next purchase. So let's take a look at the aerial shot and where this property sits to give you more context to that bigger vision as to how this property sits in our client's portfolio long term. So you can see here that the block is 798 square meters. If we take a look at the maps and zoom right in, you'll see Cunningham Drive is a bit of an inner road, And Wentworth Terrace is a bit quieter. So we bought on the corner for this client, 3 houses deep from the busier road at Middle Road. If we go to the satellite imagery, you can see how many trees were around this property. It's just crazy how many trees were on this site at that point in time. But clearing a large amount of trees, you can see that there's a good amount of space and access to park here, or maybe even access to park here and walk to the back to add that secondary dwelling at a later date. And so that's the whole idea longer term for this client. Buy the property, add value via cosmetic renovation, clean up the trees, clean up the yard, rent the property out, and then pull out the equity and go again with future purchases. Then down the track, you can come to this site because it's a corner block, because it's a larger block as well. You could potentially knock down the home and maybe get 2 blocks out of it, a 395 square meter block at the front and 395 at the back. Or you could build a secondary dwelling and get $400 to $450 a week for a $200,000 to $250,000 secondary dwelling or granny flat. And so it's about those levers and about those options. If you buy one of these properties, for example, and you haven't got the value add potential, and you haven't got the granny flat potential, and you're hemmed in, you buy 500 square meters, and the block's not giving you any options, that's not the kind of properties that I personally like to buy. We can help clients buy more set and forget assets if you can buy them for a good price. But if you want to fast track that property portfolio and keep moving forward, this is the approach that I've personally taken, and we help clients take if they want to fast track their property journey. And that's where it's about the right property for the right person at the right price in the right location. And every person is going to be different. You're going to have a different risk profile, different amount of capital available to you. And so maybe spending the capital on a renovation is not useful to you if you don't have the serviceability to pull it out again. And so you've got to look at each deal for its own merit and match it to the right buyer at the right time. And so if you're interested in buying a property here in Southeast Queensland in the next 6 months, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a free chat with myself. We'll sit down and talk through where you're at right now and how we can help you secure your next property here in the Greater Brisbane market. We help buyers acquire the right property for the right price in the right location, which is tailored to your specific situation. And it's not just about that individual asset, it's also about talking and working together to help you in your bigger property portfolio journey to scale that property portfolio and work towards your specific end goals. In addition to that, we also have a course which is very affordable called Invest with Purpose. If you head over to purposeproperty.com.au and click on course, you'll see a full breakdown of how to start and scale a multi-million-dollar property portfolio, and far more affordable than a lot of the courses out there on the market. Finally, if you want to see some other recent client purchases that we've made here in Brisbane, make sure you give this playlist a click over here. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.